Jesus gave us a really easy way to assess people real quick. To find this wisdom, let's look at Luke 6:45. The good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good. The evil person out of the evil treasure produces evil. For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Let me translate. People tell you who they are. There's a saying, if you squeeze an orange, you get orange juice. If you squeeze an apple, you get apple juice. If you squeeze a person, whatever comes out of their mouth after they're squeezed, just a little bit, and I don't mean physically, guys, come on, use your heads. But if you just squeeze them, you put the pressure on a little bit, whatever proceeds out of their mouth is what's inside of them. And usually if it's a person who's actually full of angst and trouble and hate, it comes out real quick. You don't even have to squeeze that hard. They kind of do it ahead of time without even any squeezing. Just watch people. They will tell you what's inside of them. It comes from self-hatred first. Even when you're looking at a narcissist, I mean a full-blown narcissist that is just so toxic and always manipulating everybody. The thing about a narcissist is deep down, deep inside, they loathe themselves. They hate themselves. And that narcissistic mask, that ego mask that they're wearing, is to hide them from the world, to protect their very, very fragile, insecure ego. If you're ever in a situation where somebody cannot have just a normal conversation with you and talk about different things, this comes up a lot in the Christian community and the believer community when we're talking about scriptures. People get triggered. They get insecure about what they know and what they don't know. They get insecure about the questions that you're asking them. And instead of directly addressing the problem and digging through the scriptures for truth like a Berean would, the people freak out. They name call, they slander, they go nuts. There's really nothing you can do when you're faced with a person like that. You have to just set your boundary and walk away. So my friends, remember this. Next time you're engaged in a conversation and the person starts to freak out, name call, just not be steady and stable, there's a chance that their ego is hurt. Their insecurity is showing. Secure people do not need to go around calling people names. People who are secure in their knowledge and who they are, don't freak out over much. They tend to be very steady and very stable. If you're running into somebody who's not steady and not stable, chances are they have a lot of internal turmoil as well. Because out of the heart, the mouth speaks. Watch for lack of accountability, lack of ability to have a conversation on topics, getting overly emotional on certain topics, and name calling. These are signs of someone who's not actually grounded, secure, and stable. First step in dealing with this kind of situation is, number one, noticing that the situation is going on. Noticing is half the battle. Knowing what you're dealing with is half the battle. So now you've noticed this person is not really stable, they're kind of insecure, they're wearing a mask, they're ego-driven, they're not authentic, they're not coming from a healthy place. And that's all inside of them. And that has nothing to do with you. So number one, don't take it personally. Set your boundary. Say, you know what? I don't like being talked to like this. And just remove yourself from the situation. Hopefully this situation is not within your own home. And if it is, I am so sorry that you have to deal with that. And I pray that you find relief very, very soon. Now remember, the best way to deal with people who have a narcissistic type personality, meaning they've got things figured out so much more than everyone else, kind of a grandiose, self-important, self-focused personality. The world is out to get them. They're super important. You always do everything wrong. They always do everything right. Those type of people, the best way to deal with them is to go gray rock, meaning be unreactive, care less, walk away, spend less time, become really boring to them. And the more boring that you are to them, the less they will feed off you, because these type of people feed off of energy and they feed off of your attention. So get really boring around them and don't give them that energy and attention. Let's end this conversation with the good side of things. So if someone has a lot of good in their heart, what will come out? Well, the fruits of the Spirit will come out. What are those? The fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. If you see those things consistently in someone, it means that they have a very high measure of the Holy Spirit working in their lives. So even when they're faced with challenges, even when they're faced with criticism, even when they're faced with name calling, they don't freak out, they don't respond in like, they turn the other cheek, just like Yeshua asked us to. And they display the fruits of the Spirit. They're able to stay in control. They're able to stay grounded and centered because they know who they are in Yeshua. They know their identity and they know where they stand. If you have somebody that doesn't have good roots, they don't have deep roots, any gust of wind, any bit of pressure blows them around and they just don't have that stability. Let's talk about the things that Jehovah hates. These things are the opposite of the fruits of the Spirit. If you ever want to see if somebody is operating in the fruit of the Holy Spirit or they're operating in the fruit of the evil one, this is what you would look for, okay? There are 6 things that Jehovah hates, 7 that are detestable to him. Haughty eyes, prideful eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush to evil, a false witness that pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict in the community. Remember that one. That comes from Proverbs 16-19. This assessment and being able to understand these things will help you discern who you're dealing with in every given moment. And you can assess what is going on with that person, and you can either choose to continue to engage in the conversation or you can set a boundary and walk away. I pray that this message blesses you and it keeps you safe and healthy and at peace. If you think you need help with the fruits of the Spirit, maybe you lack some patience and self-control, I recommend learning about emotional healing. On my website, I did a short study to teach you about emotional healing. It's free or by donation. Go grab it.